Hey, welcome back to Up in Smoke, all about barbecue. I'm Becky, and today we are having pork ribs, some baby back ribs for dinner. So, all I've done so far is I just kind of started finding the membrane on the back because we got to get that off. That's our first order of business. And then I've mixed up my rub already too. And later on, we are gonna make a very yummy, very delicious root beer sauce for these. A little root beer, brown sugar, a little mustard, but we'll get to that later, obviously. So we just wanna get our membrane. I'm gonna grab one of these paper towels. It'll help me, hopefully, if I can pick it up. There we go. Grab the membrane with the help of this paper towel, and hopefully, well, I already left behind part of it. We'll come back to that. We'll come back and grab that bit too. Pull this all off the back. Some of the fat's coming up with some of this here. All right, so we have our membrane all pulled off the back. Sometimes it's easier, depends on your piece of meat where you can find it on the end, or sometimes in the middle you get a good start and work either way. So just depends. It seems like every rack of ribs is a little different for me. So I've got my rub over here in my little can already wrapped in plastic. So what I have in here is some dark brown sugar, some salt, pepper, a little bit of smoked paprika, and my little special ingredient, I have a little allspice in here. This allspice is gonna go really nicely with our root beer sauce that we're gonna put on a little bit later. It's actually gonna give it some nice spice. So get our brown sugar all broken up and shaken up and get it to come out. There we go. Coming a little bit better. We'll put it on the bone side first before we flip it over and get this all rubbed in. Not really rubbed in, patted in. That's all you really need to do is pat, even though they're called rubs. So I like good saucy ribs, especially pork ribs. Beef ribs sometimes are okay, dry, without a sauce, I mean. Not dry meat, but you know. Little more rub here, but yeah, I like my ribs, my pork ribs, all nice and saucy when they're done. So I'll get this kind of patted in. Some of this will probably fall off as I flip them over. Stick them into my foil here. Then get them unstuck. And we'll just do that. There we go. Now we're just gonna rub in, again, not rub, pat some of our rub in on this side. I'm gonna really get some nice thick rub over here so we can get a nice bark on these. And we're gonna be out at the S&S grill today, getting these all nice and smoky. Gonna smoke them right around 250 and kind of spritz them every hour, but we'll get to that too. And here we go. Get them really nice and coated with this rub, this brown sugar rub. And then we are gonna go get these on the grill. Okay, so we are ready to put our ribs on. My grill is all set. Got it right about that 250 mark. That's where I'm gonna keep it for this cook, for these ribs. Get these lovely looking ribs. Oh, and my thermometer is going nuts. Just the thermometer, don't worry. So, got some hickory here. Let me get this glove off and turn this off. Doesn't like that I opened the lid. And there we go. So they are on, ready to get nice and smoky. In about an hour, I'm gonna come out and give them a little spritz, check the bark. I don't want the bark to dry out. I have some hickory wood today, and I do have a little bit of water in the water trough. I've got the Slow and Sear running here with my S&S kettle grill. Those are awesome. Make a nice, steamy, somewhat moist environment to begin with. So We'll be back in just a couple seconds to spritz. Okay, so we are going to check our bark and spritz our ribs. Lid's starting to get a little tight. Let's see. Oh, it's looking good. Hopefully you can see that. I am just going to give them a little spritz away from the fire, and there goes my thermometer. There we go. So, give it another hour for me, a couple minutes for you, seconds for you, and we'll spritz them again. Okay, so it is time to spritz our ribs. Pull the lid off here, check them out, and they are looking good. Got a nice bark forming, and there's my thermometer again. And, ooh, my fire's coming up. Give these another little spritz. Make sure it doesn't get, ooh, it's getting to be a nice bark on there. So, I'll let these go a little longer. Spritz them again in another hour, a couple seconds for you. And we will check them again. I am ready to start our root beer mustard brown sugar sauce. And I have just about 3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard in there and 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to pour in this whole 12-ounce bottle of the good old Virgils. And make sure I turn my burner on. That would help. Because I'm going to bring all of this to kind of a strong simmer, not quite a boil. And get it all mixed in, get our brown sugar mixed in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of this tapioca flour. You can use cornstarch, tapioca starch, whichever, just a teaspoon. This is just a thickener. It's going to make our sauce nice and thick. I'm going to give that a little whisk with my tiny little whisk here. And it's so nice to not be flying solo anymore. My cameraman and favorite taster had to be out most of the day, so I was not able to zoom in on things like usual.
I'm back.
And it's so nice to have you back.
Oh, it's good to be back.
So, it's all nice and frothy from our root beer. So like I said, I'm just going to get this to a nice strong simmer, low boil, and get the brown sugar all nice and dissolved and get it thickened up a little bit. And then we will be ready to go brush it on our ribs. Okay, it is time to sauce our ribs. We are going to pick them up and check them out. Ooh, they got some nice bark on them.
Oh, baby.
And, oh, they're getting nice and, starting to get nice and bendy. That's a good sign. And my cameraman's back so he can, actually, you know what, I'm gonna do bone side first. And then I'm gonna flip them over and do the nice meaty side. We'll get just a little bit back here. Oh, and the flies need to just go away. They smell something good out here.
Yes.
So, get this. These are looking nice on the back here. Got our, ooh, and my brush is sticking to my gloves. Always lots of fun. Mm-hmm. And then we're just gonna start to kind of drizzle, because I'm gonna put them back on. Sorry, I'm doing that the wrong direction, aren't I?
It's okay.
For my cameraman. We all of a sudden got some wind. I think we got a storm kicking up here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna slather these in sauce. Get these all nice and sauced up. So these have been on, it's been about 3 hours, a little over 3 hours. And then I'm gonna put them back on for another probably 30 to 45 minutes so the sauce can get nice and thickened up. And I'm just gonna leave them on this foil. I'm not really gonna wrap them up tight. Just gonna wrap them just a little bit. Wrap the ends so they'll get some more steam in there. Hopefully that's in enough. There we go. And that's it. Then just a little while longer and we get to taste them.
Yes.
It is time to pull our ribs off the grill.
Yeah.
Look at them in here. They're all nice and super smoky. Sauce got nice and smoky too. I'm gonna cover them up a little bit more, take them in, let them rest for a minute or two before I let my favorite taster have at them.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that?
I am.
Okay, then we'll go try them.
All right.
So I am ready to bring in my favorite taster, and we're gonna give these ribs a try.
Yes.
You ready?
Oh yeah.
I can get you some gloves.
Got to get my
too.
gloves on because I want to protect my manicure here.
You don't go for manicures. Do you want some of these on the end? Do you want some in the middle?
I would like a little bit from the ends, please. And
I think I'm hitting bone.
some from the middle.
Yep, I hit bone there.
Look at that. Oh, looks like it's falling off. Oh yeah.
Hitting bone. There we go.
Oh yeah.
You want that?
Yeah, that'll work.
Start with that.
Yes.
And then you want some from the middle too?
Yes, please.
Let me cut a couple for myself.
I'm diving right
here.
in. So,
Go
this
right
just
ahead.
peels. Look at that. Oh my. Just pulls right from the bone. Perfect. These are a little bit hot.
We let them sit and everything.
I know. Okay. I have food with my salt.
Let me just see if I can see where the bones
I
are.
love the dark look
The bark.
of the bark. Yeah.
Some of
Okay.
that is that root beer sauce. Why I said that like that. So we got some of the little bones going off the wrong direction here. These are
All right.
in the middle. They're okay?
These are more than okay.
They meet with your approval?
A little bit of a bite. What is that spiciness? Is that just pepper?
Oh, you tasting them? You weren't here. I forgot.
Yeah.
I was flying solo when I was seasoning them up. So, a spice that goes really nicely with a root beer based sauce is allspice. Kind of a little bit different thing to put on your pork, but it gives it a nice little spiciness.
Never heard of that.
Huh?
Never even heard of that.
Allspice. I've used it on chicken before, but typically I use it more in like baking. Like it's one of those
Bone.
pumpkin pie spices. You know when they say pumpkin pie spice or pumpkin spice, all those kinds of things. Yeah, it's
Is
all
that
the
what
different
that is?
spices you would put into your pumpkin pie filling. Allspice happens to be one of those, but it's very nice. It's very savory, very good. Good in savory dishes too.
Man, that's good.
I'm gonna taste. Are you gonna keep stuff in your face and let me taste?
Absolutely.
I'll stick a little
So I
bit.
can taste the smoke. I can taste some sweet. I can taste some heat. Just came off the bone really easily. Man, that heat
tasty.
kind of builds. This is kind of
That
in a very
bark
good
is
way.
nice.
This is beautiful, baby. Ribs.
I'm happy.
I'm very happy.
Baby back ribs. Yes,
Awesome.
very good. Super easy. Easy. They take a little while, a little bit of time. These were about 4 to 5 hours. Smoke them first and then just sauce them for the last 45 minutes to an hour about. And let that sauce get all nice and sticky and gooey. With that root beer, Virgil's
Yeah.
root beer, the best root beer.
Virgil's.
So their favorite taster approved.
Very much so.
So, delicious baby backs. Don't have to wrap them. We wrapped them a little bit. I didn't tighten it down a whole lot. I just kind of, yes. But anyway, delicious on the SNS. So,
It's a hit.
it's a hit. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a like and a subscribe, and we will see you next time. And I'm going to eat my ribs.
Yeah.